What is going on, everyone? My name is Boyd and I am back with some more Age Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the left side of the map in the blue color. Playing as Isis is from the KorN clan, or was from the KorN clan. His name is Naraku, also known as AOM King. His opponent today in the red color, playing also as Isis. His name is Jij Loit. I can't say it, but he's also known as Spoeft. So if you know these guys, super old players, super old expert players, and this is from the tournament hosted by the KorN clan in the 2010. In 2010, not the 2010. The map is Savannah, and I'm excited because I haven't seen these games in a long time. They were posted on RTS Sanctuary. The whole recorded game pack was posted on RTS Sanctuary. So if you're interested in some of the history of the game, this was kind of maybe the second last big tournament that happened on Age Mythology with like really, really strong players. It was like the last Age Mythology tournament that both King and Magyar were in, and it had so many top players back when expert meant something, and yeah, I'm excited to see how these guys play. King was notoriously known as a Zeus player, and in this tournament he took Isis for most of the tournament, just as a statement that he can play Isis better than the Isis players. That was the general gist of it. We are seeing King getting maybe just a little bit of supply block there because he went for the giraffe, not really knowing that if you go for a further pack of hunt, you need to send 7 villagers there at the start just so you don't get supply blocked early. But Spoeft in his own right, an expert player. I believe he was one of the few that had to who actually got to experience firsthand the brutality of 2006, 2007 of the Age Mythology or AOM King Zeus Athena rush, kind of the pinnacle of that strategy when it was first being really abused to the best of, or to all of King's ability. He was taking down everybody with all of that stuff, and I think Spoeft said something along the lines of this was the first strategy he had to actually study and try and work out something different in order to beat it and deal with it. But that's that, and I don't think it ever really was defused, and I still think the King Athena rush on in Nilla is still one of the strongest strategies you can employ if done correctly with correct micro. It's one of the strongest strategies, yes. And Monumental Village is coming up for King here. We've got the lumber camps up as well for pickaxe. We've got a house coming down. We've got sea temples coming through. We've got houses coming up for Spoeft. Many houses up already. Monument to the Villages up and temple up. This map, Savannah, in the Isis Wars, is actually a really, really aggressive map for Egyptians. Normally we see fast heroics. Well, we always see fast heroics from Isis players here, but specifically Isis Wars and maybe Isis vs. Set. For Isis players, you want to be building up 5 to 7 priests before you advance, or as you're advancing to the Classical Age, and even in the Classical Age. So you want to go for a bit of a later advance time to the Heroic Age, but you want to get out those priests so that you can sit on their forward hunt. And if your opponent doesn't do it, then you really hurt their economy. Those priests come in handy for ancestors, and then it's going to be a really, really good thing to do, you know. So we'll see if that's what King does here. Given that he was not an Isis player, we'll see if he does come up with that, or if Spoeft does that himself. We do know that King did go for his forward giraffe first, so he does have this sort of back hunt over here, even though it's forward and can be abused. He does have that, and he does have all of these elephant. We do see a really, really forward temple here for King, almost forgetting it. But the beauty of this, which maybe it's good, maybe it's not, is this temple goes up super fast. Especially with the Pharaoh empowering. We see baths coming through 430, and Spoeft also going for 430, and we are seeing a priest starting to come out now. If we check out King's gold situation, he's chucking out the priest as well. I don't think we haven't seen Flood of the Nile from either player just yet. Well, actually, maybe I don't think there's a way to see if they got it, but I think maybe Spoeft did because his favor's a little bit low and he got the monument up a little bit faster than King here. So priests are coming up. We do see them chilling in the middle, and they can't really fight until the classical age. We are going to be running into each other as priests running away and all the good stuff. You see the obelisks are here, and even more priests should coming out. The big mistake here for King would be to not send his Pharaoh forward. You want to get him to definitely want to get him in the priest army, because if your Pharaoh is in the priest army, it's a big issue. We do see villagers moving forward to these zebra, probably not the best position for those to be in. There's only 4 zebra there with that many villagers. Maybe better would have been these giraffe. That would be pretty important. We are seeing an obelisk coming up here, but there's enough here. This is a pretty even fight, actually, with an extra priest coming in. Targeting down the priest, sorry, the Pharaoh forward. Very smart right there. Then switching over to the priest, and then we're going to see a nice trade there, at least 1 for 1. It's fine, though, for this Pharaoh to be a little bit injured. If they don't fight anymore, we can retreat and then heal these guys up. Definitely don't want to turn around. Ooh, God, he's trying to micro a little bit, but even with good micro here, it's going to be difficult. King a little bit short on gold at this point. Maybe built too many priests. Not able to advance just yet, but still doesn't have the armory up. Where is that? I don't think he's chucked it up. No armory just yet for King. And the armory for Spoeft finally coming up, and we're gonna get those healing things here. Feels good, man. Feels good. Priests also back to full HP. Start moving forward. Armory coming up now for King, and he's going to be empowering that one. And it does look like King is, for some reason, very far ahead on the food. And I'm not sure why that is. Maybe these villagers just haven't dumped their food yet, and that'll catch him up, because there's no villagers on food now for King. He's actually only got 3 villagers on food here, and he's going to be able to cast prosperity, maybe even build even more priests. We'll see if that does happen or not. For some reason, retreating them when these are coming forward, he does notice that come in. Maybe he'll be able to move forward and defend here. We do have 6 priests and a Pharaoh, which is about even here. King's micro would be good enough. We are seeing Nephthys coming through now for King, and Nephthys will be coming through for Spoeft ever so shortly. Prosperity does come down as well, and he's got so many villagers on this gold mine. King loved doing this back in the day, just like taking all the villagers off pretty much every resource here. He's got only 3 villagers on food, just putting everything onto gold and then casting prosperity and getting maybe 1,000 and maybe 1,200 gold or something like that. And that can be useful. Yeah, seeing the mining camp is also being empowered, very important. And we do see that Spoeft is not chucking his prosperity down, so he's going to be holding on to that one for just a little bit here. Maybe it's going to be a good idea, maybe save until he's got a shaft mine. Research shaft mine and then cast prosperity could be a decent choice there, so you get a little bit more of that buffed economy on gold. Maybe it matters, maybe it doesn't, who knows. Villagers getting those houses down. We do see Spoeft got the max villagers here, and now King does hit the heroic age through Nephthys. He's going to be moving forward with this Pharaoh. As he advances first, he can come forward and then secure this location. And we do see Spoeft also hitting the heroic age here, but no Migdol Stronghold just yet. Looking like maybe going to go for a fast second town center. It's a little bit risky here, because sometimes it's best for ISIS wars to go for a fast second town center, but that's only when you have a secure second gold mine, or like a difficult to attack second gold mine. Otherwise, your opponent can do an Ancestors Eclipse timing push with a bunch of siege towers and really put the pain on. We do see 700 gold in the bank for King as well. And he's actually secured this gold mine really nicely, so he could actually grab this second town center, which he is going to be doing. We are seeing a Migdol Stronghold and Monument to Soldiers coming up now for Spoeft, but it's very late, 9 minutes into the game here, when already all of these Chariot Archers are going to be coming out. But King doesn't know about this. It's not in the line of sight of any of his obelisks, so he doesn't have any idea that that's happening. You see villagers running onto this town center as well, so that's going to be good. It's going to be good, but so 2 town centers plus early Migdol Stronghold. King going to be just that smidge in front on the economy, but I think, did we see Shaft? We didn't see Shaft Mine, but Spoeft is going to have just maybe a smidge more resources early on, and he's going to have to catch up just a little bit because he's only got 3 villages getting that town center up. Also jumping onto these zebra is going to be really nice, and then these elephant are going to really help. And now we're seeing these chariot archers moving forward. I think the siege workshop maybe just a little bit late. I think you want to get that one up with the pharaoh and with a couple of villages, just so you can start getting out siege towers, so that I can do a lot of good stuff. And we just see villagers moving forward. Unfortunately, King not paying attention too well there. Maybe able to pick off one of those villagers. He's going to get away with 4 HP. That's unfortunate right there. Oh no, he's going to get him. Oh, super close. Unfortunately, did miss all those arrows there. It doesn't look like the elephant are very nicely spawned at all, but we do see Spoeft coming in for a little bit of a raid here onto King's villages. He's actually going to lose one, which is going to be a little bit annoying, but it's going to be fine here. The chariot archers are going to actually meet up over here, so that's going to be interesting. I feel like maybe this is slightly in favor of King if he can get positioning in here. We do see Ancestors Eclipse. It does come down a little bit early here, a little bit preemptive Ancestors Eclipse without any siege towers. You can just retreat back to a Migdol stronghold, and this is really difficult for him to actually get anything out of. We see the chariot archers trying to get some bumping here, so the ancestors can do a little bit of damage. But once these units get back to the Migdol stronghold, it's going to be totally fine. And then he can even garrison in here and just jump over the other side. Loses a couple of units here for the trade of ancestors, but once they come out and they start attacking away, does he have funeral rites? He does have funeral rites, so these ancestors die very, very fast. You can see Siege Workshop coming down now for Spoeft. So he's used this one for map control. So he's trying to gain this thing here. Maybe you can grab 4 town centers or something like that and be in a decent enough position. But now the ancestors are kind of down with the Migdol stronghold fight and a little bit of garrison micro. I like that a lot. You can actually garrison a unit mid-archer fling, and then basically the arrows don't do any damage. So you can get invincible units if you're fast enough with that garrison micro. You know, seeing the chariot archers, a little bit of back and forth here at this point, but that's going to be fine here. King's still sitting with a lot of gold. Maybe he's going to be thinking about grabbing this town center. Farm's actually coming up. That's where all the gold's going. Ignoring the elephant. Does he not know they're there? He does know they're there. Interesting. Maybe just a little bit of the I can't be bothered grabbing the elephant sort of action, rather grabbing farm, so I don't have to even think about my hunt. But it's really, really important. You can have so much more food income at this point. But another Migdol stronghold now coming up for Spoeft. That's going to allow him to give even more of that spam. King not actually able to do that one, and that's going to mean it's going to be difficult for Spoeft to transition into farms. But he still has all of these giraffe here, so he should be fine. We check out Spoeft. He's actually got 0 villages on food for some reason. Oh, they're all moving forward. Maybe taking some villages off gold here and putting them onto food would be a good idea. And King just going to chill. At this point, he just needs to get out 4 or 5 siege towers. And then an Ancestors Eclipse attack here would be really, really important. I like that Spoeft's keeping these priests back and on top of his Migdol strongholds, because you don't want to get caught out by Ancestors Eclipse, because if you have to run away from it, then the units do find themselves really hurting, and they really can't do a lot of damage at all. Going to be moving forward now. Going to try and take down some of these villages. He does manage to pick off a couple. Scorpion Men are out as well, which is actually kind of smart because King did lose a lot of his priests, and I don't think he'd want to reproduce those at all. We do see 117 population to 134 population, so it is time to be grabbing this next town center. We've got markets coming up. We've got the chariot archers searching around here, and this is going to be a pretty difficult fight for Spoeft to win here. We do see Ancestors Eclipse does come down here. A little bit interesting. Maybe just going to pick off a bunch of villages here, but apart from that, it's not going to do too much. So I think Spoeft's going to be pretty happy with that. Does lose a lot of units here, unfortunately, not paying attention to his chariot archers. That's going to be huge. That's like maybe even 1,000 wood right there of chariot archers that just died. And now the ancestors, for some reason, attacking the watchtower. Maybe going to be able to take that one off, and then maybe pick off the villages as well. You see markets up now for Spoeft, so we can start the trade route. And now with the ancestors sitting in the base of Spoeft, normally the tower fire will start focusing down some of these ancestors, so you can kind of run through here, not take any damage from the towers, have the ancestors take the brunt of the fire here, and we do see heavy chariots is out now for Spoeft. We are going to have a little bit of a villager death action over here as well. Lots of these villagers going to be dying, but that's not going to be all too big of a deal at this point when you're sitting at full population. Not quite full villager population, but you should be okay. You should be in a decent enough position. We are seeing the chariot archers with those bonuses going to be taking down some of the enemy king chariot archers. More units finally getting produced here. You see that the siege workshop is now pumping. We do have 3 siege towers though for Spoeft, so you can actually start sieging away at these houses if you so chooses. And we do see chariot archers chasing away King here. The King's starting to get a little bit out of control. His economy hasn't really been touched here, whereas Spoeft's just got pretty brutalized, and now the third town center is up, and we still have chariot archers over here keeping an eye on this town center, so that's going to be really big if Spoeft can't secure that one. Now seeing these chariot archers going to get out of there as fast as they possibly can, just kind of distracting at this point. It does look like Spoeft does know about this town center going up. You can kind of do this thing where you click on the town center in Fog of War and you can see that it is getting built, but I think it's going to be a little bit too late. Maybe he's going to pick up a couple of villages and he's going to try and delay it with the chariot archer fire there, but it's just not going to be enough. And King does manage to get that town center up without losing too much there, just the one villager. So that's going to be really, really big for him. Able to keep pumping out villagers, sitting with a lot of resources in the bank, looking like he wants to go to that next age, move forward to this gold mine, chuck a market, start putting walls down, and all that other good stuff. We see the Scorpion Man does unfortunately get picked off, does run into priests with funeral rites, which does mean it's doom, generally spells doom for them there. Now we're seeing a huge siege workshop attack here, but the mercenary immediately get queued with all of those resources, all that gold resources in the bank there. That's going to be really, really big, and that's going to force siege towers back here. But maybe this is kind of what Spoeft wanted here. You can just force all of these mercenary out for the trade of just like 2 siege towers. What's this, 10? That's 900 gold that he just spent there for a trade of 1 or 2 siege towers. It's actually a really good trade there for Spoeft as he's getting out of there. Now he's chucking down this third town center, so he's going to be able to keep fighting all. But now he's turned around in front of these, and these mercenary are almost dead. Should have just kept retreating here and maybe sacrificed the siege workshop or something like that until all of these mercenary do die to that timeout there. Unfortunately, he did not do that one. And now King's going to be going on the counter attack, still only with chariot archers. Looks like he's still only got 1 big gold stronghold, which is super silly. But market is going to be coming up now. We're going to see the Mythic Age for King coming down very, very soon. Interested to see what he does to decide to go through. He's going through Osiris, not through Thoth, and Spoeft not close at all to the Mythic Age there. He's going to be very, very slow. These chariot archers, the micro from Spoeft not quite on point here. You don't want to be targeting down siege towers at all. It's going to be a big issue there. You can see they just don't do any damage. You need to be really microing. You kind of can get away with a pretty easy trick by clicking on the units holding shift. As long as nothing else is attacking him, it works fairly decently. And then you'll be okay with some pullback micro as well. You have to be careful about that there. But King putting on all of this pressure. He's super happy for doing this because he's going to that next age. And he's still not got a second town center here. Not town center, Migdol Stronghold. It would be a good idea to just get that one up fairly soon. We got the trade route coming through as well. Those camel caravans pumping, which feels really, really good. Chariot archers also pushing forward slowly but surely. Just a war of attrition here. We do see that we do have some nice armory upgrades here for King with the bronze shields compared to the copper shields of Spoeft. Now the siege tower is onto the Migdol Stronghold, and there's not really anything here that can pick it off apart from the villagers. So Spoeft's going to have to pull those villagers off in order to take down this siege tower. But just going to be retreating here at this point, looking like he needs to regroup here, get out more of those units. Another market is up for King, so he can start really pumping the trade. We've got the Migdol Stronghold coming down in this location, looking like he wants to attack this fortified town center. Can also cast a, what's it called? Son of Osiris, but it's also important to be getting out City of the Dead to get a little bit extra HP. We see Mercenary Cavalry coming out because he does spot this Migdol Stronghold, but it's a little bit too late. Got the Chariot Archers coming through, and they're also going to be attempting to target down the Pharaoh there, but the Pharaoh does garrison fast enough there, and Spoeft does tap out GG. Well played there by King. It's pretty interesting watching these old games because certain things that have sort of been set in stone, like don't cast Ancestors Eclipse until you have Siege Towers. Grab second town centers once you have, or third town centers once you have Secure of Gold Mines, really important. Grab your Siege Workshop really early, super important because you need to get Siege Towers out in order to nullify your opponent's Chariot Archers. Things like that just not happening in these old games, and players having to be a little bit more creative with what they're doing. It's like kind of interesting to see like something that's like a little bit less set in stone. So I like it. So let's we'll keep plugging through these games. If you're enjoying these games, would love you to follow the old Twitch channel at www.twitch.tv/imboit. And also hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel if you're not already doing so. This was a very fun day for me. Hope you're enjoying it. Let's continue with some more of the games.